Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV here at the Precious Metal Summit in Zurich. And we have now the honor and pleasure to talk to Christian Kargl-Simard, who is the CEO of Adventus Mining. Christian, long time no see.
Yes, Jochen. Pre-COVID, I think we talked last.
Yeah, definitely. It's like at least 4 years.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Well, Adventus Mining, I'm a shareholder still of a company. I should say that up front. And it looks like that things are rolling in Ecuador. But maybe you give us shortly a little overview to remind our viewers what you are doing.
Sure. Building a mine takes a long time. It's quite the process. Since I spoke to you last, we completed the feasibility study on the Curipamba project. So we have 10 million tons at 5% copper equivalent, the highest grade undeveloped copper project on the planet. We arranged project financing, $241 million with Wheaton Precious Metals and Trafigura. We put the construction team together, and we've been almost 2 years through the permitting process in Ecuador. And it's line of sight now to the final permits and start construction in April of next year.
Okay, super. And I think you had just some good news here, politically wise.
Yeah, well, the process has taken longer than expected, partly due to the political backdrop in Ecuador and President Lasso almost being impeached twice. He announced his cross-death. And the dissolution of the assembly this year, new elections. So lots of delays out of our control. One thing that occurred in August of this year is NGOs went to the Constitutional Court in Ecuador to try to challenge the constitutionality of the consultation process for environmental permits. This is covering all industries, not just mining. The court heard this case on an expedited basis. And we just got the result that we will be able to continue and finalize our permitting process, which, by the way, in August, we had 6 to 7 weeks left. So we're able to finalize this process based on the court outcome, which is a great result for us. It keeps us on track to start construction in April of next year.
But it's interesting that all those NGOs are constantly against mining, but everybody of them is using a cell phone.
It's all about the money.
Okay, I see. Yeah, because finally we need the metals you will produce in the future for energy transition, for CO2 emission reduction, for solar, for a better and greener world. But when we don't produce it, we don't have it. It's very simple. Yep, isn't it?
And we're doing it in the best, environmental standards, the highest Canadian standards. So everything we're doing is in regard for the local people, for the environment. We need copper, like you say.
Yeah.
So, companies like us that are doing it the right way should not have such a difficult ride in terms of permitting.
Absolutely. I see it the same way. Okay. Can you give us already some numbers on your project? You said already 241 million. What's the project finance? But what would be production? What is the starting mine life? Also, how does it look like for future exploration?
Yeah, sure. The feasibility study shows a 15-year mine life. We produce around 50 million pounds of copper equivalent each year. It's around 25,000 tons of copper equivalent each year. Our costs are very low because of the very high grades. So the feasibility study showed $1.26 per pound copper equivalent all-in sustaining costs.
Wow.
We have a precious metal stream with Wheaton Precious Metals. So if you add the cost of that stream, you get to $1.70 all-in sustaining.
Still fine.
Still lowest quartile. I believe copper is going to be $8, $9, $10 a pound later this decade. This mine should be in production in 2026. Pick your copper price, minus $1.70 a pound, times 50 million pounds. That number is significantly larger than the current market cap in annual free cash flow.
Yeah, exactly. I think by that time, copper should be at $4.70. So that's $3 pre-tax margin, $150 million profit before taxes. I would say that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
What's your market cap today?
50 million Canadian.
Oops.
US, sorry.
There is a lot of upside,
Yes.
I would say. Yeah, very interesting. Wow. And also then for future exploration, what else can you offer there?
Well, our focus is building this mine, getting that free cash flow. And with that kind of cash flow, we can have 20 drill rigs turning.
Absolutely.
But our main deposit is a volcanic mesosulfide deposit. They normally occur in clusters. We currently have one reasonable sized one. We made a new discovery of a second VMS about 4.5 kilometers away a few years ago. So proof of concept that there are other VMSs. Ultimately, we think we can double or triple the size of this resource base. So that means a 30 to 40-year mine life, or we can double or triple production in due course.
Okay, fantastic. Super. Who are your largest shareholders?
Our largest shareholders are Wheaton Precious Metals, Altius Minerals, Greenstone, the private equity group, Novus, the large Ecuadorian industrial conglomerate, and then from a fund perspective, it would be Franklin out of San Francisco, Merck, CQS out of London, Ixios out of Paris. We have around 25 institutions.
Wow, fantastic. Sounds very healthy. And as you said, the project finance is arranged, but there's enough cash in the bank, just let's say, to move the things further forward that you are not getting under pressure.
Yeah, the 241 million is fully arranged, fully dedicated to the project. We're working on a strategic transaction to bring in additional capital and to further expand that shareholder register with some new heavy hitters. So we expect to be able to announce something like that over the next while.
Super, perfect. Sounds like a game plan. Christian, thank you very much for the short insight. And yeah, I would say finally you make it. And please make sure that 2026, your metals will come to the market because they are heavily needed.
I couldn't say it better.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Christian Kargl-Simard, the CEO of Adventus Mining. And you heard it. The last hurdle, I would call it, is now taken. And things are really looking great. They had a lot of delays due to the political unrest in Ecuador and let's say to the unstable situation. But that is all over now. And things are really improving and going to the correct and good side. And honestly, mining is something also like development aid in such a country, and that helps the people, and it's not to destroy the environment if you do it correct. And as he said, they want to do it to the highest Canadian standards. I think you couldn't do it any better. And those metals are really needed in this world if you want to stop CO2 emissions, or let's say reduce them at least heavily. And so from that side, check out the company. That looks really fantastic. And if they can bring in addition a nice strategic partner or big investor, that would also help. And I think the company is heavily undervalued. Check it out. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.